Hi guys, Michał here. So today I want to show you how to make hypnotic groovy techno that sounds like this. Alright, so if you want to get the packs I have used, the instrument racks, it's available in the 22 Hypnotic Techno racks for techno producers. The link is in the description. Okay, so let's dig in layer by layer. First, let's look at the beat. So let's turn it on with the bass. So what you can see is going on. I have a couple layers, and what's the most important bit here is that apart from, like, this is kick and the bass. So I want to have a bit of like a 16th roll going, which is happening in the bass line. So a bass line is basically two bars. It's actually even a half bar loop. Really simple. Yeah, I'm not playing the first one, just second kick, and here is a good practice to add a bit of dynamics, so to have them alter in the velocity. This gives us the roll, but if I didn't have this layer, this would be pretty basic. So I like to have kind of like another layer that gives us this additional dynamics and groove, and it doesn't have to be like all 16. It's like a rim shot with a bit of like yeah, just basically a rim shot, really short rim shot, a bit of echo after that. So, and it sends to the reverb. So this gives us the basis. Then what is super important is to have some sort of like a Q&A in the beat. So I have this like a perk splash, and there is the second layer, which I'm using this instrument rack from the pack. So they kind of like have like there's a dialogue between this one asks, and this one answers. Actually, we could skip that, and we could skip that and maybe do. It's always nice to have longer loops than one bar. And you can see now this is gonna be the backbone of my beat, and it's super important above anything else that you have this sort of like a question and answer pattern between different hits, as this is going to hook the listener into listening to your tune. Then I have this layer of claps and snares with auto filter. So I showed you how to use the auto filter, and especially I was digging into this technique. You can open the card above and see it the next time. So basically what is it's happening here is like this clap pattern, pretty dense, with echo on it, and I'm just using DS clap. But what is nice here, I've added auto filter with really long, like it's closes and it's short. Let's turn this one off. Yeah, so we have like this additional movement going on. Without this, I think after a couple bars this will become boring, but with this extra like polymetric movement, we have this like accent, and like the beat, we have the feeling that it's like speeding. And I think this is the case in hypnotic techno, that we want to have layers that kind of like pulse, that breathes, like mimics this kind of like a flow of elements, flow of nature. That's how I understand, at least. So we have it here. Yeah. Then we can open the hi-hats. So in this, so what's going on in hi-hats is I have just standard open hat loop, but with some, as you can see, ghost note. So I like to use ghost notes as they add a bit of groove to everything, and I like to like hook them with the rest of the beat. Let's turn this one off. Yeah, so they create all those ghost notes, like the one here, the one here, the one here, like a bit of like a roll to the beat. Yeah, then I have another layer of open hat. It's just a loop, but I think it adds a bit of intensity, has that reverb tail on it, so it adds the groove, and it just makes the hi-hat punch even more. It's important to, in my opinion, have hi-hats here in the mid, so they're like kind of dry, so they really punch through, and they like really give this backbeat. Then I have the layer of like a splash. I like to have also this kind of like a effecty thing, so it happens every 2 bars. We can even extend it to 4 bars and maybe have just this guy playing here. And yeah, and I needed to double it actually. So this was I wanted to do. So this plays in this first half, and this one plays in the second half. Yeah, again, a bit of variation really helps along. And then a closed hat. And for closed hats, I have this rack that I have like a couple of LFOs hooked to, like you can see, they are hooked to attack, decay. Maybe I will slow them down a bit. This one is not closed, but we can hook them to this. So what's happening is that you can hear that this hi-hat constantly morphs. It's like opens the attack, opens the decay, slows the attack, slows the decay. So again, it's something that is alive and gives, without it, I think it really speeds things up. So this is nice when it comes to the beat, in my opinion, so far, but we need some textures, and I like to have few layers of textures. So let's first look at this one. It's like a kind of like a recording of some sort of noise that has this kind of whoosh, again, this pulse. So if I would like, so you want to have it something like really far in the back, just to have this kind of like a cushion for all the sounds. And I should probably hook this with kick. Yeah, so it's like it pumps. Okay, now another layer will be this sample I've recorded from my Prophet. I love this sample because it has this kind of like this nice texture, and again I'm using LFO hooked to utility. So what it does is actually gives me this kind of like fade, like sometimes this layer is louder, sometimes this layer is quieter, and this again gives us this pulse in the now it's quiet, and okay, now it's gonna, no, sorry, it's still going down. Okay, now it's becoming louder. This one is, now it's louder. Yeah, so I like that pulse in this texture. Then we have this noise that plays just on one. So it's nice to have effects that will play on a different time of the beat. So I'm gonna have effect that plays on one, which is this noise. And then I have effect that plays on the second beat. Maybe I should have this one on third actually, because it's too dense. So let's just put it here. And by the way, I showed you how to make this effect in the creative sampling techniques. The card is above as well. So let's have this one on 5. also nice to add a bit of polymetry, but actually I'm gonna do it the other way around. I'm gonna extend this loop a bit, and then maybe I'm gonna add a small one over here. So this is gonna make this hits fall into the different time of the beat, which is gonna give us even more unpredictability and like things flowing, mingling, combining with each other in an unpredictable way. Yeah, and I have another effect, I guess. No, I don't. That's it. Yeah, so without the textures, it's okay, but the textures gives us this nice cushion, nice background for everything. They just have to be slightly in the back. Especially like the hi-hats. And then we need some leads. So I've chosen this sound, staccato sound. So when I'm thinking of leads, I always think of like, if I'm going for groovy, this kind of like staccato driving things, I want to have lead that is kind of like blip, 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 blip. It's pretty short. So again, a bit of LFO, modulating different parameters, so this lead is alive. Then another layer that gives us contrast, so it's not so dense. So this is like a longer sound. Whooshy. I think this. And then I can like modulate a lot of this sound. Yeah, I can modulate it the way I want it. I can raise the energy with another layer of hats, like with this right. Now it's super important to have section that gives contrast, and I could leave it for like that, but this would feel static. I need some sound that will hook the listener to listen further, and I've used this one. And again, I was showing you how to make this kind of sound in the creative sampling technique. I'm linking the card once again. So this is like a sample in a sampler that I'm playing. So this is important to have this kind of sound as it gives us again the contrast. So we had really like kind of hectic rhythmic sounds, and this is like suspend tones. So when I'm feeling this, when I'm hearing this, it gives a lot of tension. And in this moment, what I would do probably would be like modulate some of the sounds I have. Yeah, just to change things a bit. Maybe I could change up the rhythm a bit. So as you can see, I have plenty of things to work on. Different sounds can be modulated, can be varied. I have different sections, and to me, it should be fairly easy to arrange this into like 5-6 minute arrangement, which flows, which grooves, which has this kind of nice hypnotic feeling, which is not too dense with sound, but still feels alive. So I encourage you to try extend your like a basic core loop to have this kind of like a level of density in the drums, in the textures, in leads, to have sounds that can be modulated, and then I'm sure it will be super easy for you to arrange those tunes. Okay, if you like that, make sure you watch this video on my right side when I show you cool creative techniques with auto filter. You're gonna love the sounds I've created there. Till the next time, bye.